All right, today we are digging into a really powerful mindset tool from Mel Robbins that she calls the Let Them Theory. And trust me, it sounds simple, but this idea has the power to totally change your relationship with everyone around you, and probably more importantly, your relationship with yourself.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you ever just feel completely wiped out? Exhausted from trying to manage how other people see you? From just replaying conversations over and over in your head, or trying to win someone over who just won't be won? Yeah, it's a really draining way to live. And the reason for that exhaustion? Well, Robbins says it boils down to this. You've been putting all this time and energy into trying to control things that were never yours to control in the first place. Other people's opinions, their choices, their reactions. But what if you could actually break that cycle? Well, the solution is, believe it or not, incredibly simple. It's so powerful, and it all comes down to just two little words. And that brings us right to the heart of the theory. See, it's not just one idea. It's actually a two-part framework that has to work together. You have let them, and then you have the really crucial follow-up, let me. So what is it exactly? Well, the let them theory is basically a mental reset button. It's all about consciously letting go, releasing your grip on what other people are doing and thinking, so you can take all that energy back and decide how you want to live and how you want to respond. Think of it like a 1-2 punch. The first part, let them. That's the release. That's where you stop fighting these impossible battles. But the real magic, the real transformation, that happens with let me. That's the pivot. That's when you turn all that energy back onto your own life, on purpose. And look, this isn't just some nice self-help idea. It actually has a real physical impact on your brain. When you're constantly worried about what others think, your brain's little alarm system, the amygdala, is just firing on all cylinders. Saying let them helps to calm that fight or flight response, which lets the thoughtful, rational part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, come back online. Okay, so the theory is great and all, but how does this actually work in those messy, real-life situations? Let's walk through a few scenarios that I think we can all relate to.
Okay, first up, the fear of judgment. Oh man, we all feel this one. You want to post something you're proud of, or maybe speak up in a meeting, but you're just terrified of what people will think. The first step here is to just let them. Seriously, let them think you're too loud. Let them think you're getting it all wrong. And here comes that pivot. Suddenly, the question isn't, will they like this anymore? It becomes, am I proud of this? You're shifting your focus from their approval to your own integrity. And that is where your power really is.
All right, here's another one. Dealing with someone who's maybe a little emotionally immature. You know the vibe. You feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to manage their moods. The theory says, stop. Just stop. Let them pout. Let them give you the silent treatment. You are not responsible for managing their feelings. So instead of getting sucked into the drama tornado, you get to choose. You can say, let me take a step back here. Let me decide if this is even worth my energy. You get to reclaim your own emotional peace. Oh, comparison. The thief of joy, right? That awful feeling you get when you're scrolling through social media and you feel like you are so far behind. It's brutal. But the first step is just acceptance. Okay, that's their journey, that's their life, it has nothing to do with mine. But here is the genius move. Instead of letting jealousy just eat you alive, you can use it as a signal, like a compass. What is that envy pointing you toward? What's a dream that you've maybe forgotten about? Let me use that feeling as fuel to get to work on my life, on my path. So how can you start using this right now? Well, Mel Robbins gives us a super simple 3-step framework that you can use anytime you feel yourself getting sucked back into that old people-pleasing pattern. It's really just a simple loop. First, just notice it. Catch yourself when you start to spiral. Second, name what's happening, but with zero judgment. Just say, okay, I'm worrying about what they think again, and I can't control that. And third, redirect your focus. Ask yourself, what actually matters to me right now? And then take one tiny action in that direction. When you really start to practice this, the shift you feel is just massive. You go from feeling like an actor who's always performing for an audience to becoming the director of your own life. And it's so important to remember, this isn't about becoming some cold, uncaring person. It's actually the opposite. It's about taking your precious, limited energy and redirecting it away from the things you can't change, so you can pour it into the things that really, truly matter to you. Honestly, this quote from Mel Robbins just sums up the whole thing perfectly. The moment you stop performing for everyone else is the moment you can finally, genuinely start living for yourself. And that really leaves us with one last big question. Once you stop pouring all that energy into things you can't control, what are you going to do with it? What will you build? What will you chase after? What amazing things will you do with all that power you've just taken back?